My name is Lila. I am 35 years old. I live in a small town called Windermere Bay. It is a nice place by the sea. The water is blue, and the air smells like salt. I love my town. I work at the post office. My job is to sort letters and take them to people's houses. It is a busy job, but I like it. It makes me feel important. My husband is Evan. He is a fisherman. He goes to the sea for many weeks. His work is hard. When he is away, I feel lonely. I miss him a lot. But I am proud of him. He is strong and brave. I feel happy to be his wife. Before, our life was simple and happy. When Evan was at sea, I wrote letters to him. I wrote about my day. I wrote about the town. I wrote, "I love you, Evan." Writing made me feel close to him. It made my heart warm. Every week, Evan sent me a letter. His letters were short, but they made me smile. He wrote, "I miss you, Lila." Or, "The sea is quiet today. I think of you." His words were like sunshine. They made me happy. They made waiting easier. I felt loved and strong. One day, I waited for Evan's letter. It did not come. I thought, maybe the mail is slow. I told myself not to worry, but I felt a little sad. It was like a small cloud in my heart. 2 weeks passed. No letter came. I went to the post office every day. I looked at all the letters. I wanted to see Evan's writing, but it was not there. My heart felt heavier. The small cloud grew bigger. It made me feel cold. A month went by. 4 weeks with no letter. I stopped smiling. My heart felt empty. I tried to stay busy. I worked at the post office. I cleaned my house. I walked by the sea. But I was sad inside. The sea wind felt cold. My house was too quiet. Finally, Evan's boat came back. I was so happy. I ran to the harbor. I wanted to hug him. But when I saw him, something was different. He smiled, but his eyes were not happy. His hug was quick. He felt far away. "Are you okay, Evan?" I asked. "Are you tired?" "Yes, Lila," he said. "I am just tired." The sea was hard, but I knew something was wrong. His voice was quiet. He did not look at me much. He went to bed early. He did not talk. Our home felt cold. It was like a gray day with no sun. I wanted to believe him. I tried to believe him. But my heart felt something else. It felt a secret sadness. One day, I was cleaning Evan's fishing jacket. It smelled like the sea. I put my hand in the pocket. I found something small. It was a photograph. In the picture, Evan was smiling. It was a big smile. He was on a boat. A woman was next to him. She was smiling too. Her arm was around him. They looked happy. They looked close. My hands shook. The photograph fell. My world went quiet. I could not hear the sea. I could not hear the birds. I only heard my heart. It hurt a lot. It broke into pieces. I looked at the picture again. It was real. Evan was with another woman. My happiness was gone. I felt so alone. It was a cold, empty feeling. I did not talk to Evan. I did not know what to say. My words were stuck. My heart was too heavy. Instead, I started to write. I took my notebook and pen. I wrote a letter to Evan. But I did not send it. I wrote about my pain. I wrote about the picture. I wrote, "Why, Evan? Why did you hurt me?" I wrote, "I feel sad. I feel alone." I wrote all the things I could not say. Then, I wrote more letters. These were not for Evan. They were for me. They were for the old Lila. The happy Lila. The strong Lila. I wrote, "Where is my smile? Where is my strength?" I asked questions. I looked for answers. I wrote about my dreams. Dreams with Evan. Dreams for myself. Many dreams were broken now. Writing was hard. It made me cry. But it helped too. A small light started to shine in me. My voice came back. It was quiet at first. But it was mine. I wrote about my pain. I wrote about my hopes. I wrote about my worth. I wanted to find it again. My days were still hard. I went to work. I sorted letters. But my heart was not there. I felt like a ghost. The house was too quiet. I missed Evan's letters. Now, there was only silence. One morning, a new car came to Windmere Bay. A moving truck came too. A new person moved in. Her name was Mrs. Hale. She was an older woman. She had white hair like sea foam. Her eyes were kind. Mrs. Hale opened a bookshop by the sea. It was a small shop. It smelled like old books and flowers. I saw her when I delivered letters. She always smiled at me. One day, I walked by the sea. I felt sad. My head was down. Mrs. Hale saw me. She came to me. "Hello, Lila," she said. Her voice was warm. "Are you okay?" I shook my head. "No, Mrs. Hale. I am not okay." She looked at me kindly. She did not ask a lot. She just listened. Then she said, "I have a reading circle. We meet every Sunday. We read poems and stories. We talk. It is nice. Do you want to come?" I thought about it. I liked books. But I wanted to be alone. Still, her voice was so kind. It felt like a warm hand. "Thank you, Mrs. Hale," I said. "Maybe I will come." The next Sunday, I felt scared. But I went to the bookshop. The reading circle was small. There were 5 women. They smiled at me. Mrs. Hale read a poem about the sea. It was beautiful. We talked about it. Their words were kind. Their faces were warm. For the first time in a long time, I felt a little peace. I felt a little hope. I went to the reading circle every Sunday. Slowly, I found joy again. Small joys. Simple joys. I started reading poetry at home. The words made me think. They made me feel. Sometimes I cried. But it was a good cry. It helped me let go of pain. I walked by the sea every morning. I watched the sunrise. The sky was orange and pink. It was beautiful. The waves were calm. The air was fresh. I felt the sand under my feet. I felt alive. I started baking bread. The smell of bread was warm and good. I kneaded the dough with my hands. It felt strong. I shared the bread with Mrs. Hale and the reading circle. They loved it. Their smiles made me happy. It felt good to share. I talked with the women in the circle. We talked about books. We talked about life. I shared my feelings. They listened. They did not judge. It felt good to not be alone. I learned that kindness can heal a heart. Months passed. The seasons changed. I changed too. My heart was healing. It was not broken anymore. It was getting stronger. My letters helped. The reading circle helped. Mrs. Hale helped. I started to see my worth. I was Lila. I was strong. I was kind. I was enough. One evening, Evan came to me. He looked sad. He looked tired. He looked at me. Lila, he said. His voice was soft. I need to tell you something. I looked at him. My heart was calm. I was not afraid. I was not angry. I was ready. He told me about the woman. He told me about his time at sea. He said he made a mistake. He said he was sorry. He cried. He said he wanted to fix things. He wanted our old life. He wanted to start again. I listened. I did not shout. I did not cry. My voice was calm and strong. Evan, I said, I forgive you. He looked at me. His eyes had hope. But, I said, I am living for myself now. His hope faded. He looked confused. I explained, the old Lila is gone. She waited for you. She was lost without you. But I found myself. I found my way. I am not that Lila anymore. It was hard to say. But it was true. I had changed. I was not waiting anymore. I was living. Evan left Windmere Bay. He moved to another town. I stayed. My home was here. My new life was here. I thought about my job at the post office. It was a good job. But I wanted more. I wanted to use my hands and heart. I found a small shop by the harbor. It was sunny and bright. I decided to open my own shop. I would sell handmade cards, paper, and pens. I would sell things for writing. I worked hard to make the shop nice. Mrs. Hale helped. The women from the reading circle helped. It was a happy time. I named my shop Letters of Light. I started writing again. Not to Evan. Not to myself in sadness. I wrote to people who needed hope. If someone in town was sad, I wrote them a letter. If someone was alone, I wrote to them. I wrote about kindness. I wrote about strength. I wrote about new beginnings. My letters became special in town. People called them letters of light. They came to my shop to read them. They bought cards and paper. They talked to me. My shop was a place of hope. My letters gave me comfort. My life was full. It was full of light. It was full of purpose. It was full of me. Sometimes love goes away, but kindness stays. Sometimes we lose someone, but we find ourselves. That is also love. I learned to love myself. I learned to be strong. I learned to find joy in small things. The sunrise, the sea, the smell of bread, the smiles of friends. Mrs. Hale became my good friend. The reading circle was my family. They helped me grow. They helped me shine. I still walked by the sea every morning. I watched the waves. I felt the wind. I was not lonely anymore. I was not waiting anymore. My shop grew. People came from other towns. They heard about letters of light. They wanted to read my letters. They wanted to write their own. I helped them. I taught them how to write from their hearts. I started a writing group in my shop. Every Tuesday, people came. We wrote together. We shared our stories. We shared our dreams. One day, a young girl came to my shop. Her name was Mia. She was quiet. She looked sad. I gave her a pen and paper. I said, "Write what you feel, Mia." She wrote a letter. It was about her dreams. It was about her fears. She read it to me. Her voice was small but clear. I smiled at her. "You are strong, Mia," I said. She came back every week. She wrote more. She smiled more. Her eyes were brighter. I felt proud. My shop of letters was helping people. Years passed. Windmere Bay was my home. My shop was my heart. I was a new Lila. A Lila who helped others. I still wrote letters. I wrote to people far away. I wrote to people in town. I wrote about hope. I wrote about love. I wrote about life. One day, I got a letter. It was from Evan. He wrote, "Lila, I am happy for you. I see your shop. I hear about your letters. You are strong. I am sorry for my mistakes. I wish you joy." I read his letter. I felt no pain. I felt no anger. I felt at peace. I wrote back, "Thank you, Evan. I wish you joy too." I stood in my shop. The sun came through the window. The sea was outside. I smelled the flowers in my shop. I saw the pens and paper on the shelves. I saw the letters people wrote. I smiled. It was a big smile. A real smile. My heart was warm again. It was like sunshine after a long gray day. I opened the shop door. The bell rang. It was a happy sound. There were cards I made by hand. Each card had a kind word. Each card had hope. People came to the shop all day. Some bought paper. Some bought pens. Some just talked. They told me their stories. I listened. I gave them a smile. Sometimes, I gave them a letter to make them feel better. One day, a man came to the shop. He was old. His name was Mr. Tom. He said, "Lila, I heard about your letters. My wife is sick. She is sad. Can you write her a letter?" I nodded. "Yes, Mr. Tom. I will write a letter for her." That night, I sat at my desk and took a pen and paper. I wrote to Mr. Tom's wife about hope, love, and being strong. The next day, Mr. Tom came back. He smiled. "Lila, my wife read your letter." She smiled for the first time in weeks. "Thank you." My heart felt warm. My work mattered. My letters mattered. I kept writing, for children, for old people, for anyone who needed kind words. The writing group grew. We sat in a circle. We wrote about our lives and our dreams. Some people cried. Some people laughed. We all felt close. Mia, the young girl, became my helper. She loved the shop. She helped me make cards and gave them to people in town. She said, "Lila, I want to be like you. I want to help people." I hugged her. Mia, you are already helping. You are strong. The seasons changed again. The sea was sometimes calm, sometimes wild. But I was not afraid. I was strong. I had my shop, my friends, my letters. One winter, the town had a festival by the harbor. There were lights and music. People laughed and danced. My shop had a table at the festival. I gave out cards and small letters. People smiled when they read them. The festival was beautiful. The lights sparkled on the water. I felt happy. I thought about my life. It was different now. I no longer waited for Evan. I wasn't sad. I was living for me. I was helping others. I still walked by the sea, baked bread, went to the reading circle, and wrote letters. But now I was a light for others. I was a voice for hope. Sometimes I thought about Evan. I hoped he was okay. But I did not need him anymore. Life is not always easy. Hearts can break. But they can heal. We can find light. We can find strength. We can find ourselves. I found myself. And that is my story. If this story touched your heart, please do like, share and subscribe to this channel. My sweet viewers, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.